This video continues my interview series of the staff at Next Wave CNC, filmed at their headquarters in Perrysburg, Ohio in December of 2025 with the release of the new HD6 series of Next Wave machines.
My name is Brandon Alberton. I'm the mechanical engineer here at Next Wave, and I've been here a little over 10 years.
And tell me what you do at Next Wave.
From start to finish, I work with Tim, our owner, to develop any product that we have, whether it's machines, accessories. So we have a great team for that, and I also handle the assembly lines and how we build everything down to quality control.
Cool. Tell me a little bit about Next Wave.
So Next Wave, we develop CNCs from anywhere from a 1x1 to a 4x4 machine. Our machines are primarily for woodworkers, but can do soft metal, and they're meant to be for the garage, but they can also be used for production. We have a lot of customers that do that as well.
Well, speaking of the garage, so the home environment is tough. Dust, vibration, varying temperatures. How do you engineer machines to survive that you can't control that area?
Focusing on the areas that can affect in terms of our guide rails on the X-Z axis. We have a lot of covers on the bottom of our machine for keeping dust out in that environment when we have dust collection and a lot of solutions like that. But mainly we focus on, and we're all woodworkers to some degree, right? So we all try to kind of really lay down like, okay, if we were at home, what would we want, And we work with a lot of great people, yourself included, to get ideas for that.
So Next Wave is known for features like Virtual Zero, which help make the CNC approachable to everybody.
Absolutely.
How do you balance be powerful and easy to use when you're designing?
I think a lot of it comes down to what we do here for the customer in terms of when you open the box, we want it to be as simple as it can be to set up, but that goes all the way to software. I think working with Vectric and using VCarve, I think is a lot of where, the software is what scares people a lot. But in terms of what we do here, it's making sure that the consumer can set the machine up easily. It is usually a two-man process, but most of it can be done by yourself. We just want it to be as easy as possible and the least headaches imaginable.
If you had to describe your design philosophy in 3 words, what would they be?
Simple, easy, perfect.
I like it. So walk me through the new generation machine. What engineering leaps did you take forward with this model compared to the old HDs?
We took, the HD5 has been out probably a good 7-8 years now, and we learned a lot from customer feedback. Obviously, we always take customer feedback no matter what. It's what makes us better. And we, a lot of times, will, even if it's just one support call, take it down. And then when we go into these development meetings, we'll say, okay, this customer called about this, how can we avoid that? And it's helping support, but also, giving us great ideas for the next gen. What we did a lot was, in terms of rigidity, we've enhanced a lot of things, adding the steel back to the back plate to the gantry is one example of how we really reinforce that. Making it a lot easier squaring and tramming for the customer, just because every CNC has to do that. But also keeping it light enough to where you can move it around the shop. And we added removable side covers now that magnetically snap on to the base. So for maintaining your Y-axis, that's a lot easier pulling that completely off. You don't have to take the gantry off to do it. We have a lot in terms of new lead screws and couplers. We now have a 3-piece coupler that is vibration dampening. And the new pitch lead screw also gives us a lot more freedom when it comes to speed. So you can now jog the machine at 600 inches per minute, whereas before it was in the 200 range. So a lot of improvements there. We call it the Xbox, but most would probably call it the Z carriage, is now aluminum. Before it was HDPE, and we've really enhanced the rigidity of that, and some of those tramming tools do go into that piece as well. So just a lot of a lot of cleanup. It's still, we were very happy with the HD5 and how it ran, but a lot of enhancements, especially with the 10.1 pendant. Now we have a lot more freedom to, add things in there like the virtual zero and all of these enhancements that make the machine better.
Awesome. Tell me a little about that customer feedback process. How does that work at Next Wave when you get something from a customer to the design process and so on?
Yeah, well, we work close with our support team all of the time. They do a great job in there, and their customer satisfaction is great. Anytime that, usually if it's something we haven't heard before or anything, it'll get escalated to some of the engineers, myself, Rick, Tim, and when it gets to that point, we'll take a look at it. Any support call we get, they're very good about organizing it and giving us feedback from the customers. And a lot of customers just reach out for feedback. And from that process, it'll come to us. We'll review it when we're doing any kind of development. Sometimes it's a running change we might make. Sometimes it's something we'll say, this is an improvement we'll make on the new machine. And it's just a constant process. We're always trying to be better. So it's, you never want to be satisfied with where you're at. So we can take any kind of feedback we get, positive, negative, it doesn't matter. We'll take a look at it and we'll, adjust accordingly.
Electronics or mechanics, which is harder to get right in a machine and why?
Well, I'll be honest, I primarily work on the mechanics. So if it was for me, it would be the electronics. No, I think there's challenges to both. We're a smaller team here, so that has pros and cons in terms of, you're almost relying on just a couple of people to fix a problem. I would say, in my world, the mechanics world, just the classic getting parts in right, making sure the price is there, making sure the machine's not too heavy, things like that for the customers. But I would have to say electronics is probably, when it comes to in software, we handle our own software. So, firmware changes and bugs, things like that, I would say is probably the most challenging versus what I do.
Where do you see CNC technology going in the next 5 years? Is it AI, faster speeds, smarter controllers? What do you think?
Yeah, the AI is pretty crazy. I feel like I see something every other day that blows my mind with that. But I think you'll see a little more AI into it, especially in terms of design. I've seen a lot of things, floating here and there where, you tell AI to give you a vector and it does it, right? A DXF, a SVG, whatever. So I think in my personal use, I've used AI to just generate an image I bring into VCarve and trace, which is wild to think about, right? But in terms of it running the CNC by itself, I think we're probably a little ways away from that, but it's one of those things that can change. In 2 days, somebody, makes an enhancement to that. So I see a lot more with design, with, a VCarve or even an AutoCAD or something like that, where I really think the AI industry is going to take that over at some point.
Where do you think the machines themselves are going? Are they going to get more compact, smaller? What do you envision?
In terms of Next Wave or just in general?
Just in general. I don't want you to give any secrets away.
Oh,
so.
no. In that case, I don't have any. But, I really think you'll see a lot of almost leaning it out with rigidity. It's hard to explain. I could really see machines becoming lighter but stronger. I think a lot of designs, whether it's us or a lot of the other CNC companies out there, I think you see a lot going lighter, going more cost effective. I think you'll see CNC machines getting cheaper in that way. I think manufacturing technology has gone through the roof. I mean, you even see what you can do now with 3D printing in a lot of areas. I think you'll see a more cost-effective CNC across the board. But in terms of how they work, it's still a 3-axis CNC. You see a lot of, I think you'll see a lot more in terms of 4 and 5 axis, but in our size, right? I think you'll see things like that pop up here and there, but I think you'll just see enhanced technology, just whether it's AI, whether it's just the programmers that everybody has in-house. I think technology will continue to grow. You'll be able to do more things with dependence. You'll be able to do more things with the software. You probably won't have to think as hard as you used to when it comes to a lot of that stuff. So I could see that going in that direction.
Engineers often think differently than makers or people at home. How do you ensure that you aren't building a machine that's too far over the average person's head as an engineer?
To be honest, I talk to makers. I am one myself. Probably, I'm nowhere near a level that you would be at. I'm strictly a CNC maker, but I'm getting there. No, and that goes back to us listening to our customers. A lot of the people we have in-house here at Next Wave are makers, and they do it all the time, and that's their hobby, and they love it. I get a lot of feedback from them, and I'm constantly talking to yourself or any of our influencers or just customers in general. I think that's what keeps us fresh with that. I never want to make something too complicated. I think I've probably learned from mistakes in that area. I've been here 10 years, and I've seen, and I've had a great mentor in Tim, who is a woodworker, and he kind of helped groom me, into thinking that way. And anytime I design anything from the very beginning, that's always in my head. And I'll continue to strive to make that better and go from there.
When you see creators like me and others making things in their garages with your machines, how does that feel, and what projects do you like to see the most?
Oh, it's a great feeling. It's always, a development process. It can be a year plus, right? And, the whole time, and it's a grind, right? You're constantly head down, whether it's doing CAD or we're figuring out how to build it. Seeing someone like yourself use it and be happy with it is the big thing, is what's gratifying for me. So yeah, sometimes I'll just flip through your Instagram or anybody else's and just say, it's fun to see something that you work so hard on out in the world. People are loving it. So that's always beneficial. And then trying to see, what everybody says about it. Read the reviews, read all of that, and how can we make it better. But it is gratifying. It's I've been working on them a long time, so it's very, I think for all of us, it's a very good feeling, seeing everybody out in the field with them.
You see end results of the machines. What is something that surprised you the most that you saw somebody using a CNC with that wasn't what it wasn't intended for?
I've seen so much now. It's one of the cooler things that I myself never really thought about, but I've seen a lot of people doing guitar bodies. I always thought that was incredible. I've never been a guitar player in my life, but I've loved rock and roll music my whole life. So just seeing, and we actually have one of our employees here has made a couple of guitars, and it's amazing seeing that process, play out and how precise everything has to be. And years ago we did I don't remember the magazine, but we did a project where we actually made one ourselves, but just the body of it. And working with the customer in question at that time, and hearing from him how precise everything has to be and all of that was pretty eye-opening. I didn't even know you could use a CNC for that. So that was one of the cooler ones. I'm a big golf guy, and one of our free projects on our website is it's one of those devices you just basically hit a lever with your foot and a golf ball drops in front of you, and I always thought that was one of those things, I can take that to the driving range. It's just the little things like that you can use in your everyday life, because some people see it and they just see signs. They see everyone's just making signs with these, live, laugh, love, or whatever, somebody's grandson's name. But it's not limited to that. And I think that that's one great thing about our free projects and working with Vectric is, I get ideas, like if I'm doing Christmas projects or something like that, this first place I go is our website and theirs, and to see, what are people doing? Your Instagram, it's pretty amazing. It's limitless what you can do. You're only limited to your imagination.
What's your favorite part about doing this job?
The people, honestly, and I'm sure you'll hear from a lot of people at Next Wave. We've all been here. I've been here 10 years. Everybody I work with, it feels like family. We've been here, even in this building for a long time. lost my train of thought there. I apologize, but it's really just the family environment here, and you know, everybody gets along really well. It's, you know, and it's a stressful job, right? You're in development, you're in manufacturing, and we couldn't do it without working together. And everybody's very creative. Tim and Melissa have been fantastic with me. They worked with me while I was in school the whole time, and it's been a blessing to be here since day one. So.
Thank you for watching the interview of the Next Wave staff. I've got more in this whole interview series, so make sure you check the link on the playlist listed here. Until I see you again, bye-bye.